transport our children safely. We went undercover and found that some drivers could be breaking the law and putting kids at risk. CBS 2 investigative reporter David Goldstein has the story.
Well, can I speak though? When I
said, get on your bicycle, take the student.
Come on, David, let her speak.
No.
This LAUSD bus supervisor didn't want his driver to talk after we went undercover.
She's ready to dial. She's dialing.
Catching her talking on the cell phone while transporting students, and she's not alone. This one impatiently put her phone down long enough to honk at us.
She's on the phone.
This one chatted while driving.
Oh my gosh, she has an earpiece in.
And this one barely held the wheel while talking. All the while, they're carrying our most precious commodity, our children. Parents are stunned.
It's very upsetting. I mean, anybody who's driven, behind anybody on a cell phone, be it a school bus or whatever, knows that you just don't drive as well when you're on a cell phone.
In fact, 11 students were injured on this bus when the driver slammed into an overpass while using a cell phone. It happened in Virginia in 2004. While using a cell phone in your own personal car is still legal, school bus drivers have been banned from using cell phones while driving buses in California for more than 2.5 years. But we had no trouble finding them on the streets.
Still on the phone, and I'm getting a good close-up.
We watched this driver talk for more than 2 minutes. At one point, she had her phone to her ear with her right hand and holding a cup with her left. In the bus were students from North Hollywood High.
She's turning slow.
She then somehow makes a right-hand turn through the intersection.
Drinking a coffee, I think, too.
When we saw her again, she was off the phone, but still holding the cup, this time fixing her cap and driving with no hands.
Oh, that's absolutely not acceptable.
We showed the undercover video to Robert Bergstresser. Bergstresser is the Director of Transportation for the Escondido school system and a national expert on school bus safety. He says cell phones can only be used in a very limited capacity in California.
Legally, they aren't supposed to be using it unless it's for business purposes or emergency. Obviously, in this case, there was no emergency, and business purposes would be used in a very short, brief exchange.
He doesn't have his hands on the wheel.
But we found this driver talking on the hands-free earpiece of his cell phone for about 90 seconds. All the while, he's just leaning on the wheel, not even holding it with his hands.
You don't have optimum control when you rest on the wheel like that.
Got her.
We caught this driver text messaging while waiting for the light to change.
What you doing?
Dialing.
There you go.
And this driver started dialing 19 seconds after she pulled away from the curb. She held the wheel with one hand, the cell phone with the other. Later, she was off the phone, but now holding a drink in one hand, the wheel in another.
She's having a drink now.
While driving a high school baseball team to their game. When I caught up with her, she was still on the phone.
You were on the phone while you were driving. For at least 10 minutes, we were videotaping you on the phone.
Why you got me on TV though?
It's against the law to drive with a cell phone, isn't it?
The driver claimed she was using the cell phone to call her supervisor when she spotted our van following her. That would be acceptable under the law, but we caught her right from the beginning.
If you're following somebody, don't you all this crazy stuff that's going out here?
Excuse me, did I ask you to take that route?
You were on the phone from when you pulled out from the street.
With that, her supervisor stopped her from talking to us, and he did his own talking.
My reaction is I'm upset about it. The driver should not be on the phone.
It's a
They
safety
know
concern.
that. It is a safety concern. It's against the law.
Well, due to our investigation, LAUSD says it will review its training program for drivers to reinforce the cell phone ban. We also heard from parents who said they were outraged by what we found. They say they'll make their complaints known to the district. I'm David Goldstein, CBS 2 News.